Okay, we got UFC 293 main event. Israel Adesanya defending his belt against Sean Strickland. First title defense since winning the belt back from Alex Pereira, the last fight. And this is for the middleweight strap. I mean, this is a lot of people aren't giving Sean Strickland a chance in this fight, and I can see why. I mean, it's going to be a tough night for him in my eyes, in my opinion. We have Adesanya, who just has pretty much all the advantages from experience in 5 rounders to title fight, just big fight, in big fights, period. He's been there. He's been there, done that. I mean, tail of the tape. I mean, we got 24-2. Izzy is 24-2. Sean Strickland 27-5. 6'4" against 6'1". I mean, that's a little bit of advantage. The Strickland tends to be a little bit more muscular, a little bigger, but he also fought at 170. So this is not going to be, he's not such a huge middleweight. And 80-inch reach for Izzy, 76 for Sean Strickland. So that's another just disadvantage. Leg reach, he's got 3 inches on that as well. So, I mean, the way I see this fight going is just Izzy's going to come out and pick him apart. Izzy is just such a high-level striker, one of the best we've ever seen in the octagon, in the UFC, and he just took out Alex Pereira, so his confidence is going to be high. He was able to knock him out and catch him. That might have been tribute to the weight cut. Could have been a lot of things. He just caught him clean. And Strickland has fought Pereira, and he got knocked out in the first round. So it took Pereira a couple minutes, maybe it was like 2.5 minutes or so, into that first round to be able to catch the chin. And there's one thing I don't like that Strickland does. Like he's constantly reaching when he throws a lot of jabs. Like he's basically real jab heavy. He's throwing a lot of, like I said, just constantly jabbing, taking one to get hit, to give one. But a lot of them are jabs, kind of in the pocket, kind of just boxing range. And he does reach a lot. And when he reaches like that, it leaves himself open. And Izzy, I mean, he's a lot faster than even Pereira. Pereira was able to make that read. He has the power to knock him out in that one shot or drop him. Izzy has that power too, and he's a lot quicker, and he's going to be on his feet more. He's going to be on it. He's going to be moving around a lot more. So if you look at the significant strikes landed per minute, 5.86 for Sean, which is really high. Like most of those are jabs, and then you got almost 4 for Izzy. Accuracy, Izzy's more accurate. And you're going to factor in all the leg kicks that Izzy throws, the little range finders, the kicks to the body, the teeps, just the leg kicks, the calf kicks, all that stuff will add up. And Strickland's just coming in kind of with a straight up stance. And it's, Izzy is a little bit more wide. He's actually open for leg kicks himself, but Strickland don't really have that much of a leg kick game. It's mostly just boxing and, grappling is there. I mean, everyone thinks that just Izzy could just be out grappled by Sean, but I mean, if you look at his grappling, he has one takedown attempt per 15 minutes. He might attempt one, and that's in 15 minutes. We're talking 25 minutes where Izzy has all the experience in the world in these fights. Sean's never been there. He's never shown that cardio is an issue. Like Strickland in his last fight, he was getting pieced up kind of in that first round, came back and basically just took over in the second round. He just put his foot on the gas and just went for it. He just went for it and just landed like a lot of shots, overwhelmed his opponent and got the win, got the TKO. So, I mean, but we're looking at the submission average. I mean, they're pretty much even there. Takedown defense, 77% for Izzy. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to be 64% accuracy for Strickland, 77% defense for Izzy. I mean, it's not like Sean's going to keep shooting over and over again. I think if he does that and doesn't have success, then he's going to gas himself out. And that's just not where you don't want to be gassed out against Izzy, So, I mean, I don't see it. I mean, Sean mostly, he has like 11 finishes on the feet or TKOs or KOs, 5 submissions, I believe. Izzy has 16 finishes by, knockout strikes or TKO, KO, whatever. So, I mean, most of his victories are coming from that. He's got a 70% finish rate, to a 42%, or, overall, maybe a little more than that, but, he don't get a lot of subs as far as Strickland. So I don't see Strickland being able to just go in there and like Khabib Izzy or anything like that and just drag him to the ground over and over again to where Izzy's going to get tired. I mean, if anything, maybe even Izzy might even mix it up with the wrestling just to put Sean, back him off a little, because one thing about Sean, he is coming forward. He's constantly walking forward, but It's more behind a jab. Izzy's going to be more in the kicking range, not in the boxing range. So, like, Sean's going to have to cut off the cage a lot against Izzy. Izzy's going to have to just keep finding those leg kicks, teeps, keeping Sean, at a distance where he could have his success, where he could counter Sean and get Sean perhaps reaching like he did against Pahea and land a big shot. Like, I don't really see a way Sean Strickland wins this fight unless he just comes and shows some amazing grappling skills that we haven't seen yet. Too much. The evidence isn't really there. I mean, he's known for that. He comes in a tough camp. I mean, spars with Chris Curtis every day, another, big bruiser, striker type of fighter. So, I mean, he definitely is a good boxer. He has that. Like I said, he has everything's behind the jab. It's a lot of pitter-pat type short range fighters in the boxing range. But I just feel like Izzy's going to be a step ahead in everything he wants to do. Izzy's great at just setting traps, making you think he's going to do one thing and setting you up for something else. I mean, he could even fight backwards. He's dangerous like that. But hey, basically was kind of dominating that second fight. First round was like Pahea won that round. Second round, it was kind of looking like Izzy's legs were already compromised, and he was getting chopped down a bit, and he was up against the cage, and that's when he was able to land that right hand counter, just sneak it in there on Pahea, and then finish him off and knock him out cold, which was crazy to see. What a turn of events in that one, but. Again, as far as Strickland, does Strickland have that power? He's definitely durable. He could take it. Like that last fight, he got pieced up for that whole first round, was taking some shots. Didn't really show he was hurt any time or taking a step backward even. He's just always constantly coming forward. He's definitely a fighter. He's going to be in there. He's going to take whatever Izzy has until he can't. But I just don't feel like he wins the decision. I don't think like he's really going to be able to outwork Izzy like he wants to. If he could get Izzy to fight just in that boxing range and land something big, I could see that, or maybe use a clinch game to drag Izzy down and make it an ugly type fight like that. But the evidence hasn't been there, so it would be a shock. It would be a surprise if that did happen. But at the same time, I mean, nothing surprises anymore in MMA or in fighting, period, because anything can happen. So I just don't see that. I see Izzy's at the top of his game right now. He's got to be riding high as confidence, just beat his nemesis, after being 0-3 against Alex Pahea. Now he finally got his win. So, I mean, it's a new rebirth of Izzy now on this. It's not a quick turnaround, but, he fought a few months back. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm going Izzy all the way on this one. I just feel like he's going to get a TKO or something. Or it's hard to say because Sean is so durable and, he's tough and he backs up what he says. He's definitely that guy. He's got the mental warfare game. They didn't really it was a kind of a quick fight, so they didn't really have the buildup that I think could have benefited Sean more if he was able to dig more. But at the same time, I don't feel like Izzy's going to get – Izzy, he had even in the rematch against Pahea, he had all those memes. He had all the footage. He had everything, on social media going against him in that after losing to Pahea in their first fight in the UFC. So, he already dealt with all that. I don't think anything Sean's going to say with, he's going to say, oh, he's Chinese, my favorite Chinese fighter. He's a salad. He's this, he's that. Make fun of his fingernails and kind of like feminine ways or whatever. We get it. But at the same time, Izzy owns all that. He don't care. Like, he don't seem like he's going to be rattled at one bit, that you're talking about his nails. He said he'll paint his fingernails just so he could say, like, I whooped your butt, with these fingernails, So, Izzy himself, I feel like his mindset's too strong to get rattled by Strickland. I don't see where he feels the danger in Strickland. That's one thing maybe if Izzy is overconfident, overlooking Strickland, because Strickland did look good when he let loose in that last fight in the second round after getting pieced up in the first. He looked like a destroyer. That was one of the best fights I've seen him look. So that round, if he could channel that, and Izzy is somehow not taking him seriously or whatever. I just don't see that. You haven't seen that from Izzy yet. He always shows up. He's always ready to go. This is right now. He is kind of, there's a lot of pressure on him. That's another thing because he is kind of the cash cow of the UFC right now with Conor being out and still not fighting. So numbers show that he is the main guy right now. But I just feel like he don't mind that spot. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there's any way Strickland's going to get in his mind with a mental warfare game, get him emotional or anything like that. Like maybe if he does fight Dricus Duplessis, in the future, that could be a fight where the emotions could come into play, because they do have that African beef type thing. But with Strickland, I just don't see it. Strickland talks a lot of crap. I don't really see it bothering Izzy. I think Izzy's going to go in there and do what he wants to do. I actually think it probably will go decision, now that I think about it, just because either Izzy will get a TKO, just all the leg kicks adding up, and just set him up for a nice counter like how Pereira did. Because, I mean, he's on the same level as Pereira as far as striking. They're basically neck and neck. I mean, two best strikers probably UFC's ever seen, you know, in the octagon. So, I mean, if Pereira can make those reads, Izzy's going to make those reads. Izzy's a killer. He goes for the finish. You know, sometimes he has been in boring fights, played it safe, but that's against like Yoel Romero. These guys are freaking beasts and monsters. You know, Sean Strickland, I'm not saying he's not a beast. He's good. But he's just not, I don't think he's at that level yet. I don't think he has anything for Izzy. I think Izzy just dominates and smashes. I mean, destroys. Either a TKO. I don't want to say either or. I could see it going decision just because of Sean's toughness and being able to take shots and his durability and just his mindset. And, you know, he's got that no quit mindset himself. So I could see him lasting, you know, the whole 5 rounds, taking a beating, or even just getting picked apart from the outside from Izzy. Not like saying Izzy will run, but just keeping him at the range where he's going to have his success right out of Sean's range, you know, and then he's gonna make Sean pay for reaching, for, you know, you reach, I teach, and I think that'll be Izzy. I think this will be a lesson, be a clinic. It'll show how Izzy is the best right now. I mean, his biggest challenge, I still think, is the Dricus du Plessis and Alex Pereira if they fight again, either light heavyweight or at middleweight. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Who takes it and how? Like I said, I'm a little iffy. Either it's a TKO from Izzy, 3rd round-ish or whatever, 3rd, 4th round, or just I think probably most likely a unanimous decision, 50-45, 49-46, something like that, you know, and Izzy for the win. I mean, I could see him retaining and still UFC middleweight champion.